Ladies and gentlemen, in 2 weeks, the whole progressive humanity will celebrate the 70th anniversary of the winning of the Great Patriotic War, while the rest of the world will commemorate the end of World War II in Europe, will hail its heroes, curse its criminals, and mourn its victims. A famous Russian writer and activist, Boris Akunin, has recently posted a poll. And he has one question I will address this audience. Do you have direct ancestors that died in this war? Would you please raise your hand? Only direct ancestors. Your great-grandfathers? Less than a half, probably. Only a few. And the same result was in the blog of Boris Akunin. I first was puzzled with this, but then it came clear to me, because most of the people who died in this war were young and just didn't make it to marry and have children. And we here are lucky descendants of these lucky survivors. In wildlife, there is a law of natural selection. When the most strong species survive. The law of war is totally opposite. Usually, young and strong die first because they are chosen to be thrown into the inferno of battle. And not only in the physical matter. The most brave, the most responsible, and the most honest people are also at risk because they do not hide, because they are able to raise the banner and go forward, and they are able to say no to some criminal orders. Nikolai Nikulin was a famous Russian scientist, an art expert at Hermitage in Leningrad. As a young student, he was taken to Leningrad siege front in 1941, and then he ended the war in Berlin in 1945. Only after 30 years, he, on his vacation, was kept in the thunderstorm and was swept away with his memories of the past war. And he started to write his memories without any hope of them being published. And in only 30 years later, close before his death in 2008, they were published. Come and find this book. This is called Nikolai Nikulin, The Memories of War. This is the most striking, the most honest, and the most desperate book I ever read about war. In this book, he ponders on this law of a natural selection. Started from the Bolshevik Revolution, through Holodomor, through repressions, and to the war. The best of the best were taken away from this nation. It was a genocide of the whole people, and he was very skeptical about the future of Russia. He told that someday it will show up, and he got the point. Another thing I learned from this book is that we don't know the truth of this war, because most of the people were just thrown into the furnace of the war and burned there. And those who came, only few of them, they were handicapped, they were wounded, and they did not go through any rehabilitation. Instead, they go to a slavery of Soviet totalitarian system, to the factories and collective farms. And then no wonder they died soon after the war ended. And the remaining people, they remain silent because they either want to forget about the horrors of war or to in the fear of being punished by the government. The essence of this war is masterfully depicted in my favorite song by Pink Floyd, In the Dark Side of the Moon. Forward he cried from the rear, and the frontman rank died. And the general said, and the lines on the map moved from side to side. Unfortunately, the history of war, the memories of war, were written by those who cried from the rear. The merciless slaughterers that sent millions of people to death, and they were not ashamed. Instead, they were proud of the great victory of a great Soviet people led by great leader Stalin. And this is one of the reasons, the main reason, we now have the war at home after 70 years of peace. Because these arrogant people obsessed with war, wearing St. George striped ribbons, are killing Ukrainians now. And I see it as a good chance for us to reconsider, to review the attitude to war. That the war, in the words of Nikolai Nikulin, is the most disgusting thing invented by human race. And on the eve of May 9 or May 8, we will not be proud, but we will be sorrowful. And we will remember the victims and our family members that come through this hell. And we will not be proud by victories, but we will commemorate all those who were left there. And even in this present war, we will not think of it as a victory, but as a tragedy. Thank you very much.